Hey guys, welcome to the video today. This one is on describing and displaying quantitative data. So what I'll be doing in this video is I'll be going over what quantitative data are in terms of how we're going to display it in a proper display. In fact, I'm really just going to go over two displays today. I'm going to go over a stem and leaf plot and a histogram. So by the end of this video, you should be able to draw one and then describe the shape of the data. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples that I have here, and I'm going to make this full screen. All right, so here is some data, and I'm going to make a stem and leaf plot. So what we're gonna do is first we're gonna just organize this data, and my stem and leaf plot. We're gonna have some stems. All right. So on this side is going to be our stems. So we're going to call that our stem, and then on this side is our leaf. And the way this is going to look is it's just another way to organize our data. And we're going to start with, we'll start with our 20s. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the tens digit on the stem side, and then we're going to stack up our ones digits on the leaf side. So we'll start with our 20s. So this is going to be 2. Okay, let's see if I can do a 2 here. And so we're going to have, let's see, our lowest 20 is a 4. So we're going to put a 4 right there, and that's here, it's 24, so I'll just cross that one out. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like 4 25s. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're get rid of those 4 25s, and then we have a 26 here. So I'll put the 6 there. And then we have a 29, so I'll put the 9 right there. Now, what is important for us to do with a stem and leaf plot is we need to know what the key looks like, because sometimes maybe we don't know if this is a decimal. Maybe our data are 2.4, 2.5, 2.5, so we really want to know what we're talking about. So somewhere on the side, you'll need to put a key, and just putting something like this equals 24 will let us know that that's exactly what we're talking about. So let's go ahead. One of the other things you might want to do too is try to line up your leaves as best as possible so that you're not, you don't have huge gaps between them. So let's put a 3 here for our next one, and we see a 1 here, so there's 30, 31. I'll put the 1 there. Looks like we have, well, it looks like we have a 3. So we'll go 3 there, 33, and then a 34, and a 35, and then a couple 36s. So again, we're going to try to line up each of these leaves like I have here. Okay. So, I have this lined up. I want them to line up like this. Okay. See if this back button will work here. Okay, so that's lined up. Now let's go ahead and put in the 4. So 4, we got a 41, 41, a 41, a 42, a 46, and a 48. Okay, and then we'll do our 50s, 0, 2, and 5. Okay, so this is a stem and leaf plot, and so all we're going to do is, well, you know what? That's pretty much it. There's not too much more to a stem and leaf plot, and we'll be able to put these. This is a graphical display. One of the great things about a stem and leaf plot is it shows us the actual data, and you'll notice that on our histogram, and when we do box plots, those don't show us the actual data. This does. We can see the data here, 24, 25. It does show us the shape, and I'll show you how we can see the shape. We're going to kind of turn this on its side here. Let me see if I can turn it on its side. I don't think I haven't mastered this program yet here, so but I'll show you what happens if you take this stem and leaf plot right here, and okay, so if you take this part right here and you just rotate your paper 90 degrees this way to the side. You'll see it kind of stacks up where this is kind of your x-axis and this is kind of your x-axis and this is kind of your y-axis here, and then you'll see it stacks up. So that takes us into that takes us into how do we draw a histogram. So let's take a look at a histogram. So we have the same data here, and this time we're going to draw a histogram. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the same idea that I had with my stem and leaf plot, and I'm going to do it for my histogram. Our histogram is going to look like this. So we're going to have an x and y axis. We always want to label here frequency. So our y-axis is going to be frequency, and our x-axis is going to be whatever the context is that we're dealing with. In this case, we don't really have a context. I'm just giving you data. So we're just going to go ahead and go, we'll just call it the data that I have now. But, we really want to know what the context is, because that's, 98% of statistics has to do with the context, not just with the numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to make these little marks here, and each of these little marks, the width between these two marks is going to be called a bin. Sometimes that's what some books use different words. I use a bin size, that's called bin size. We're going to make bin sizes of 10. So this is going to be 0, this is going to be 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to stack up the amount of items that are between 20 and 30. Okay, and that's going to go here on our frequency. Okay, so we have between 20 and 30, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll do one more up here. 7. So between 20 and 30, we're going to draw up to 7. So we're going to draw like a bar chart, okay? It's not a bar chart, it's a histogram, but it looks like a bar chart. Alright, so I got my 20s. Now I want to get my 30s. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 30s. So I'm going to go up to 6. And I'm going to connect these like this. Okay? And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 40s. So between 40 and 50. And then between 50, I've got 1, 2, 3. And we'll include 50 in that. Between 50 and 60. And there is my histogram. Now I can change these bin sizes if I wanted to. I can make them between 20 and 25, and I'll do the same thing. Pick the ones between 20 and 25, go up to that amount, and put your little box. So it'll change the way my rectangles look. And when we look at this histogram, we can tell a few things about the mean, the median, the mode, which we'll talk about later, the measures of spread, and which is one way we can see it as a range. And then what I'll talk about next is the shape. So the important thing is that you understand what the shape of the data, and when we talk about displaying data, we are really displaying the data. So when we talk about the shape, we're not talking about the shape of the picture of the display, we're talking about the shape of the data. And the shape of the data is either skewed left, we kind of look at it like this. This part right here is called the tail. And so if the tail right here is on the left, then it's skewed left. Sometimes this is called skewed negative. And the reason it's called skewed negative and skewed right is sometimes called skewed positive. Sometimes they're called this because right here, there's some big number, there's a few big numbers, positive numbers, that are causing this thing to be skewed to that side, where this side it's skewed to the negative side or right side if you're looking at X and Y axis. And then symmetric means it's pretty much straight down the middle. Our median, our mean are right in the middle there, and that we're not seeing anything making it skewed either direction. So we've got 3. We've got skewed right, skewed, and symmetric. We do have one more. It's called uniform. That means that the entire thing would all be the same, and we wouldn't see any difference in anything across our data. So you've got three types of shapes for your data when you're describing the data. You have skewed left, skewed right, and your tail. And we'll talk about when we get to center, measure center, why these are important in terms of your median and your mean. Okay? So that's all I got for you today. See you later.